System and our financial system are fundamentally broken, and how we can fix them from the ground up by investing some of our own money in enterprises closer to home, starting with food, and rebuild the economy from the ground up. And for way too long, we have entrusted our savings, our pension funds, and our investments with people that have been delivering returns at reasonable risk, right? But we haven't paid attention to all the other things that investments do out in the world. And I think one key concept to take home is that our investments are not operating in a parallel universe and just repatriating the returns and the risk, right? They're actually building the world we are living in. And the type of world we live in is in part, in its dysfunctionality, the result of investments that just focus on risk and return and nothing else. So slow money is really about taking ownership and responsibility for our money and directed in a way that is regenerative and helps the communities and the food shed that provides the food we like to eat. So that's in a nutshell what slow money is all about. After the publication of the book, it resonated with a lot of us around the country, and a network of volunteers in more than 20 nodes, if you want, around the country, self-organized around the principles of slow money, the first one of which is we must bring money down to earth. We really need to take some of our money and put it to work close to home. And tremendous amount of work has been done, all by volunteers. Northern California, we have about a group of 15 active volunteers, and we have mobilized so far around, let's say, $2 to $3 million in more than 20 local food enterprises. But it's really more than that. That's actually a slow process, obviously, because a lot of us are not, very rich or experienced angel investors. But it's really regular folks that have regular jobs and a little bit of savings, and they want to do something good with their money. But it's also about the connection. It's about the networking. And some of the entrepreneurs that have come to us, have found mentors, suppliers, customers, partners, and so on. So I'm very excited that you are all here. And I want to introduce Carol Pepe Hewitt.
So I can't actually use that word. However, that's soon going to happen. But our other main goal here is education. So we are about educating the public. Kids, we provide, Sundown's wife is one of the teachers who helps us out with Peterson Middle School over here. So we have an ed garden down there on Wednesdays and Saturdays. If you look to your right, all the way down, we have an educational garden. It's an acre, and volunteers can come on 2 days a week and spend all day long down there, learn about gardening and farming, and take home as much food as they want. So we also are one of the few open source areas in the area, and so we invited 3 years ago Shakespeare to come in here. I hope some of you stay, but as you can see, we have this space, so why not? Why not mix a little art and learning how to cook it and prepare it. And so if we can get that kitchen done, that would be an incredible value added to the farm. We have on the other side of that kitchen, all the way down, we have a research garden that Andy, want to raise your hand? Andy's been working in for 2 years? 2 years. And so we would like to get a ditch witch, which is a walk-behind tractor, to help us go to no-till. And it might take us a couple of years, but in my mind, I think we could do that for the whole farm. So we're looking for that with some implements. And finally, what we want to do is install an aquaponics system. How many people have heard of aquaponics? Great. So for those of you that don't know about it, essentially what it is, it's a greenhouse. It's like hydroponics, but we use the source of fish as nutrients to feed the plants. It saves 95% water. In my mind, you're going to see the transformation on the planet with aquaponics and perhaps other systems like that. It's a closed loop system, and it's 100% organic. And John Parr is one of the biggest innovators on the planet right here, right behind you, helped developing that. It's amazing. And if we can get that system going, this used to be the parking lot for the baseball fields. And I'd like to put one behind over here too. And I think something like that will help save this farm. But if we can, you can also do these in small homegrown systems as well, and people can grow their own food. And so anyway, thanks again for coming. We really appreciate your being here.
The ones we felt were most representative and most ready to expose themselves and what they're working on and why they're great businesses and how what they do is good for the local food movement. So I'm going to introduce the first couple. Craig over here with his dog Peeve of Peeve's Pub and Market. They're down in Fresno, and they're a great venue for local cottage food producers. Craig will fill you in more of their almond brother, which is really tasty. And so I'm going to have those two present, and then we'll have a little break before the next three. So without further ado, Craig.
And yes, this is Peeve, and together we have formed Peeve's Public House and Local Market. We'll be talking about the local market today. So I like to start by having you think about the farmers markets that you might go to and how many of those farmers might be packing up early, loading their trucks, coming over the Coast Range, and selling produce to all of you folks. And I say that because our food systems are already linked. That's just a simple way to remember that not all of the farmers on the other side of the Coast Range, the food system in the central San Joaquin Valley, where I think it will have the greatest impact on disrupting the larger food system. Just in crops in all of the state of Oregon, for example. So that's where the food system is big, and that's where I think we can make change. So personally, I am an urban farmer in my house. Everything is edible in my lot. I live in a neighborhood that 60% of the people are below the federal poverty level. Our market is in a downtown area where 50% of the people are below the federal poverty level, and it is a certified food desert as well, in a place that grows all this food. So we're really trying to bring that local food movement not only to the foodies, but also to the people that really need access to healthy food. A big part of the reason for creating the food market was also to take the new cottage food law and to sort of evangelize about it in a different way. Knowing food entrepreneurs, I knew that they would be excited about the new cottage food law and they'd make a lot of product and then they'd go to the grocery store and their dreams would be squashed because no grocery store is going to accept that made in a home kitchen label.
So we've grown our company pretty significantly since then. We're now in 15 stores in the Bay Area, and we're on Good Eggs, Three Stone Hearth, and Real Food Bay Area online. A month ago, we moved to Oakland to keep growing our business, and we now have a co-packer in San Mateo, so we can focus on marketing, distribution, and philosophizing. Now you might be wondering, what is sprouted anyway? Sprouting is just a traditional way of processing nuts, seeds, grains, and beans so that they're more digestible, and it also makes your food sweeter and more nutritious. After we sprout the almonds, we dehydrate them, and then we stone grind them into our sprouted almond butter. Come back to our stand and I'll give you a free sample so you can see what I'm talking about. We're in the business of intelligent nourishment. We spread consciousness and nourish all life through delicious food designed for human consumption. We accomplish this by creating foods that are holistically healthy in the way that they're grown, produced, distributed, and consumed. We're a big picture company focused on the regeneration and flourishing of all life on Earth. Allow me to take you into the visionary realm of the philosopher's stone ground. Perhaps I'll tell you at FarmFest 2020, the following story has become true. Knowing that a food product relies on good farms to produce raw ingredients, we invested in land and created a drought-tolerant ecological orchard. The first site was called Almondia. By vertically integrating Almondia into our company, we not only began to truly accomplish our goal of regenerative agriculture, but also secured the price of our ingredients in an otherwise volatile market. We brought the wisdom of nature into the design of our farming system. From a look at history, we saw that nearly every culture which had been based on annual agriculture failed. With this in mind, we chose perennial tree crops, such as oak and chestnut, as the keystone species in our orchard, followed underneath by almond, walnut, pecan, and hazelnut trees. Below that, we planted native berry shrubs, vegetables, and herbs. In between the three-dimensional rows, we planted perennial grasses and industrial hemp as our alley crop, which finally became legal again in 2014 and started a second industrial revolution. Integrating holistically managed animals and insects further boosted the vibrancy in the orchard. We reintroduced and popularized sprouting as a form of processing all grains, nuts, seeds, and beans. We grow a variety of staple food crops that we process into a diverse and cutting-edge product line, including gluten-free acorn and chestnut flours, sprouted nut butters, as well as the traditional animal and vegetable farm yields. Vertical integration of our manufacturing facility cut costs and carbon pollution. The manufacturing of our food happens on the orchard in a certified living building that biomimics the model of a flower in its design. Kitchen workers enjoy plenty of natural sunlight and views of the abundant orchard outside. We distribute using trucks powered by the hemp biodiesel that we grow and process on site. Our tractor bodies are made of hemp plastic and also run on hemp biofuel. The roads and buildings on site are made of hempcrete, which is one of the healthiest and most durable building materials that we're coming to discover. With the full vertical integration of our company, we became sure that we were holistically and effectively promoting the regeneration and flourishing of life on Earth. As life thrives, carbon is cut and profits blossom. Excess profits finance the expansion of our regenerative network of cultivation, manufacturing, and distribution. Our nonprofit educates people about our open source business model that we call Nourishing the Roots to encourage its worldwide regional spread. Thank you for listening to my stories.
Since no kind words to it are said, don't neglect the rose in your garden. Show it your love every day, and it will bloom. May prove to be the sweetest flower that will ever bloom for you. Could be a mother, sister,